The third drill in our quarterback throwing progression is called crossover balance. And what we're trying to do is maintain all the throwing mechanics that we learned from the first two drills, hips throw and step hips throw, but we're learning to cross over and go backwards and then transfer our weight forward. So this is what the drill looks like. It's a crossover and a balance step. Okay, so I'll show you once again what it looks like, and then we'll go back and talk about the techniques. So the critical point here is we're trying to teach him what the crossover step is. And the crossover step is simply a knee-to-knee crossover. So when he takes a step back and to do this drill, we want this left foot to cross over, but only go so far as knee-to-knee, okay? When he does that, we would like this shoulder to stay a little open so he can see the whole side of the field. We don't want him turning his shoulder backward this way and closing himself off, because if he turns his shoulder back to go backwards, then he can't see the left side. So right now he's got his shoulder slightly open, and that allows him to be able to see the left side of the field, okay? So he takes his crossover step. And when we start this drill, you'll notice that Whit's going to take a short little step with his right foot. He really shouldn't do that. We'd like that right foot to stay stationary and just do the crossover step, okay? So he does his crossover. He's knee to knee, which is good. His front shoulder's open slightly. His eyes are nice and stable. His shoulders are nice and square, level, which keeps his hips level as he goes back. His arms are nice and relaxed. He's not moving the football. The football is going to stay right in front of his sternum. He's not going to use the ball to rock himself backward. The only thing that should be moving is his feet. So that ball is going to stay perfectly stable as he goes backwards right on his sternum. Okay? Let's draw a line right under the ball, and you can see that he's not rocking the ball up and down or forward or backward. It's going to stay right on his sternum, okay? So that's important because that'll throw you off balance if you rock the ball. So we're going to take our crossover step, knee to knee. Now the next critical step, the reason it's called balance, is our balance step. And our balance step should actually be right under our armpit. So if we drop this line down, it should be right under our armpit. So you see, he's missed that by a little bit. We would like this instep right here to be over here slightly. And the reason we want to do that is wherever this foot hits, that's the angle that the ground force is going to go up and through to our hip. So if it was here, you could see that it would be at a better position to transfer the energy straight up through his hip, as opposed to when he puts his foot outside his hip, okay? So we would coach him on, hey, you got to get that foot down quicker and tighter, right underneath your hip, okay? That's what's called the balance step. So the two important footwork drills that we're learning here is how to drop back, and we're going to go crossover knee to knee, balance, put our weight on our instep, because as soon as we hit this part of our instep, we want to push forward as soon as we hit. We don't want there to be a delay, because remember, we're going backwards and then learning how to go forward with this particular drill, because we are going to have to drop back to throw the ball. So he hits his back foot, weight on his instep. As soon as he puts his weight on his instep, now we're basically into drill number 2, which is step hips throw, okay? So the critical part of this drill is to teach him, don't start with this foot, keep that stable, cross over knee to knee without turning your shoulders back, without moving your eyes, keeping the ball nice and stable on your chest, not rocking the ball, so the only thing's moving is your feet. Put your back foot in the ground so that it would be right under your armpit. We'd like him to be a little tighter, but he does a really nice job here of loading his instep up and pushing forward. He gets his toe down. Just to review all the other ones, it's straight out. He's got his left arm nice and stable, right, pointing right over at his thigh. He didn't do the chicken wing. Okay, he's got the ball raised up so his elbow is above armpit height. He's got his hand over his bicep. His shoulders are nice and level. As he starts to turn, you'll notice that his elbow is laid off again in this external rotation. Nice tight tuck, bend in the knee. So all the things we learned from the first two drills, hip throws and step hips throw, we should see in this same picture. His elbow leads the throw. He's got nice tall posture with the elbow leading the throw. His 2 feet are on the ground, which is important because that affects your release point. If you vertical bounce or if you pull your foot off the ground and you bend at the waist, it changes your release point. Okay? He's got his elbow has been leading the throw. He's going to extend and flex, extend his arm, flex his tricep right here, and accelerate his elbow and his wrist so that the ball's going to come out with maximum velocity. When he gets finished, he's going to make sure he's fully extended. His hand is pronated, okay? He's got still have his good posture. He's got a slight bend in his knee. He could have a little bit more bend, but that's still going to allow his hips to get fully rotated. And then as he finishes, he's just going to let his arm finish comfortably. A big point is we do not want this left shoulder to be rotating back this way, okay? When you rotate your left shoulder back, then what happens is your hand starts to rotate with it, and your hand is cutting across your body when you throw. And that's not how we expect our hand to be able to release and be accurate with the ball control. We're using a hinge joint, which is our elbow, our hand's attached to it. So we go rotation, we stabilize, and then we go linear with our hand going straight forward, okay? So we're working on the footwork of dropping back, putting our foot underneath our armpit, stepping and throwing with all the same good mechanics we learned from the first two drills, hips throw and step hips throw. We'll watch crossover balance one more time, drill number 3.